Neighbors, today we're gonna do a budget stew. In Korea, there's a genre of stews called jjageuri. Jjageuri, jjageuri, jjageuri. If stew is here and curry is here, jjageuri I think would be right around here. Typically, we're gonna throw in potatoes because as they boil, they release their starch into the broth and it thickens down. And it's perfect. Jjageuri is perfect for spreading over rice. For days when you don't have much of an appetite, in Korean we say 밥맛 떨어졌다. These days are perfect for jjageuri. Spam, the thing that's in your inbox every day. In Korea, they like to sell it in these smaller cans. This is around 200 grams. For me, I don't eat that much spam, but when I do, it tastes so good. It's hard to beat that salty flavor of spam, and it works really well in stews. Time out, if you don't like spam, you can replace that with tuna. Tuna works well here too, or some minced pork. Work very nice. I like to give the can a little squeeze. Ooh, my hands are getting strong from climbing. Very nice. For this dish, we're gonna actually break it up into smaller chunks. Gently just break it up into smaller pieces. Breaking it up like this, the pieces look more organic instead of like firm 90-degree cuts. Then we're gonna need 1 onion. Chop this up into small pieces. And then 2 small potatoes each, a little smaller than the size of your palm. Another half. And then everyone to the right. Then we have hong gochu, which is a red chili pepper. This one is very mild, but we like to use this in stews because it gives it a nice red color. It's up to you if you want a little bit spicier. Add in a 청양고추. I'm out of that at the moment, otherwise I would have used it. And then a 4-arm piece of spring onion. Just use the green part. All right, neighbors, we're gonna start off by making some anchovy kelp broth. Put in around 3 cups of water, and we'll let this boil for around 15 minutes. And the third ingredient is simple as well. We're gonna make a simple spicy Korean marinade that we're gonna drop into the broth. 2 tablespoons of gochugaru. It's 1, 2. Then 3/4 tablespoon of sugar. It's good. We're gonna need around a tablespoon of minced garlic. Then 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. 2. And then we're gonna use some Korean fish sauce. If you have chamchiak, which is tuna fish sauce, this works really well. Otherwise, you can use the anchovy fish sauce. And if you don't have either, just use any fish sauce. This tuna fish sauce, it's less pungent than anchovy fish sauce. Let's do 1 tablespoon. All right, then some gochujang. We'll grab around a tablespoon's worth. And then we're gonna use some doenjang, fermented Korean soybean paste. Roughly half a tablespoon. And seriously, look at all the ingredients here. Fermented soybean paste, chili paste, gochugaru, red chili paste, garlic, soy sauce. There's no way that it wouldn't taste good. All right, y'all, just give it a nice mix. Make sure to break up that gochujang and the soybean paste. Right, now I'm gonna put like a jongol pot down. A little bit of oil, not too much, because the spam has plenty of oil. Medium heat. Let's get these spam chunks, get a little bit of a sear on them. Just let them be for a little bit. We don't want to keep moving them around because they'll break down into smaller pieces. And then once you start to hear a crackle and pop, that's good enough. You can add in the onions and the potatoes. Give it 1 stir. And then remember our anchovy and kelp broth. We're gonna use 2 full cups. That's 500 milliliters right there. Then we're gonna add in all of our sauce. Get some of the broth, put it into your bowl so you get mix that in. Put it on high heat, bring it up to boil. And look at the transformation in the color. Once it comes to boil, we're gonna put on 7 minutes. We're gonna give it 7 minutes on high heat. I want all the flavors to collide. Neighbors, as I'm waiting on this, I was checking to see how long it will take to go to my grandma's place. You know, during Lunar New Year's and Chuseok or Korean Thanksgiving, a lot of people from Seoul go back down to their hometown. But do you remember when we didn't have Google Maps and we had something called MapQuest? Oh my gosh. I think it was like the first widely available driving directions webpage, and you had to print it out. And then when you're driving, you have to look at like the small street signs as you're driving, and then some are always like hidden by big trees, and then you'll miss it. You'll take a U-turn, and then you'll drive, and then you'll take another U-turn. But somehow we always manage to arrive on time. After 7 minutes of boiling, I just want you to turn off the heat. Trust me. Just turn it off and let it cool down for 15 minutes. The potatoes, they're gonna soak up the broth, and then its starches are gonna help thicken it up. And it's gonna be just the perfect texture to put over rice. All right, now back to the stew. Let's get this heated up again. Now you see our potato and spam dish has thickened up a little bit. Let's add in the green and then the red. Bring it back up to a boil a second time and let it cook for a final 3 minutes. Get some fresh rice, of course. That's a little bit of spam and potatoes in one bite. Maybe get a bigger piece. Go in for a little bit of that broth as well. You put it over. All right, simple as that. Break the potatoes in to the rice. Bon appetit. Oh my gosh, that just like melts in your mouth. It's pretty ridiculous. Get some spam as well. The regular oily nature that you get with spam, it's removed. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Imagine spending a day at the beach, you come back home, and you got a whole pot of this ready to go. You would knock back so many bowls of rice. Neighbors, I hope you enjoyed that. Spam in Korea is still a very popular ingredient. You know, during Korean Thanksgiving, you'll see like large gift boxes full of spam. I think one last note on this, which I usually say for Korean jjigaes or stews, give some time for the stew to cool down. And then when the molecules again, like come back to feng shui, like come to peace, all the flavors work together. If you're impatient like me and you just dig into the soup right away, it's a little bit off, so let it cool down and then the rice will be hot enough. And then my favorite part about jjageuri, the next day, gonna taste even better. Move it to a smaller frying pan. Get this on a high heat. Right, and in Korea, I think every guy secretly loves to eat straight off of this lid, especially when you're doing like ramen. But with jjageuri, let's get some rice on top. But you can only do this when your partner or your wife is away. But I will remain young at heart